and I wanted to do a flip through of the journal that I made for my friend Jessica. So I found this from Vintage Modern Mama, I believe is her name, on Instagram, and she sells a bunch of really cool stuff, and I saw this book, and I'll show you the cover in just a bit, and as soon as I saw it, I knew that I needed to get it for my friend who, she's an artist, she paints, she sculpts, and just is really cool. Actually, most recently, she did this really awesome installation in Seattle for the, what is it? The Gates Foundation. She was chosen amongst many artists, and her idea was chosen anyway. So she loves to journal. I've known her for 15 plus years. We met in high school, and I really wanted to make her a journal, but it took me like half a year to figure out what I wanted to do. And then when I saw this book, I knew that I was going to alter it for her. So it's the history of this ceramic art. And she actually recently, in the last couple of months, started collecting different ceramic jars just from all around the world. Some really old, some new. So lots of really cool antique jars in her home. And I thought this would be such a fun way for her to maybe take, she's posted pictures of those jars on Instagram, and I thought she could put them in here, kind of like a scrapbook, or just write about all her different ideas and visions for her future art projects. So I already tied this up. That's okay. I'm going to cut it apart and then just rebind it when I present it to her. And then right here, I thrifted this cool little, it reminds me of a dog tag, and her dad's in the military, or was in the military, and so I know that I felt like this would be special for her, and then I just type wrote Antiquity. I decided to name this the Book of Antiquity, just because, well, two reasons. There's two digital collections that I used from Dust to Roses. This is actually a design team project for Dust to Roses for Cassie, and two of the kits that inspired this, the color palette and the theme for this journal are called Antiquity. So I thought it was very fitting to name this the Book of Antiquity as well. Anyway, let me try to take this apart without permanently ruining anything. And this is just some fabric I thrifted. I thought my friend Jessica could use it however she wants throughout this journal. Okay. And then I don't know, she could use this for the journal as well, or I don't know, maybe use it for something else. And then this was the spine, and it was already taken apart. So I've seen people turn these into bookmarks by backing it with something, doing a little bit of sewing, some embellishing. So I've yet to do that, but I certainly will, and then she could use it as a bookmark throughout this journal. And then I got these really cool fabric samples from a house of books on Instagram. They do monthly subscriptions, and they sent me a bag of just amazing stuff. And so both of these fabrics are from a house of books. And then of course some sari silk. This was my first time practicing open spine binding, and it was really fun. I had to rebind it a couple of times, and I'll show you, you'll kind of see how I messed up a couple of times, but there's always a way, I feel like, with junk journaling to fix it without having to redo the entire thing. Anyway, here's a cute little charm. So there will be some religious pieces of ephemera and just religious embellishments here and there, because spirituality is something very important to my friend Jessica. And then also she did, for her master's thesis project, she was at an art school a couple of years ago. She did this project called Angels Among Us, and basically just drew and painted angels all over the city, and then even had these little sculpture angels that she would kind of put somewhere, just in random places symbolically, and she had us, her friends, put some wherever we wanted, and it was called Angels Among Us. So I thought it was so cool. I don't know if you can see in the video right here, this little angel. I thought that was just so perfect, along with this beautiful gold jar. And I had several people ask me if I painted this blue color, and it actually came like that, and I think it's such a stunning blue. And look at the back, you can see the engravings right here. The blue is just so pretty. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and open it and we'll get started. All right, so I used so many different kits from Dust to Roses, and I will just in the description, I'll link links to all the separate digital kits that I use, because I combined like, I think 8 near the end of it. And then this first page is from Cassie's kits, and I like it because I don't know what kind of bird this is, but Jessica, when she and I first met, like, I mean, long story short, I remember like she was like walking in the hallway, and I was like, oh, she seems like a cool friend. And for some reason I just thought, oh, she looks like a raven. And it's kind of like this inside joke we have. So this bird reminded me of a raven. I don't know if that's what it is. And I thought, of course, I had to put that on the front page. And then I didn't do any embellishing on the inside covers because I love this rich brown. I think it's so pretty. And it reminds me of, you know, the color of clay and dirt. And I honestly did want this book to look kind of messy and loosely put together, as if it was, you know, like anthropologists found it deep in the dirt and it was dug up. And so like it's still put together, but kind of looks messy. So that was the overall theme, just like lots of neutral earth tones all throughout. And then this is the day I finished the journal, just for her to remember that. And this is from Dusty Roses from the Antiquity kits. And then I just embellished it a tiny bit with some stickers, a wax seal. And I love the natural aged color of the book pages. And right here, I don't know if you can tell, but I did use some tape so I did, again, the open spine binding, but I don't think that was strong enough, because I finally know why people do multiple signatures. I seriously tried to keep this as one signature, and it's so thick. So I ended up having to reinforce a lot of the pages with tape. So you'll see that almost on every page. And then in here, I have this aged envelope with a celestial theme, and I got it from another journal that I purchased from somebody. And in here is a letter. I used some of the book pages, the original book pages, to write a letter to my friend Jessica. Basically just talking about the inspiration behind the journal and, you know, how I hope she enjoys using it. And then some paper, some really cool, just handmade paper that I thought she could use. And this is the image on the cover. And throughout the book, there are a bunch of images from around the world of different jars and the history behind it. So I tried to salvage as much of that as I could. And the texture of these plates, like, I love the texture of the paper. It's different from the rest of the pages. And then I played around with gesso. I think that just adds such a cool texture to it, and added just a little bit of variety to the pages as well. Here's some dried flowers. This is a cool ephemera piece I got from Sarah, Crafty Paper Bits. If I ever say something's from France, it's probably from her. And it has this cool picture of, I always forget my words when I'm doing these. What is it called? You know, in churches when they have really pretty multicolored windows, stained glass, I think. There we go. Here's one of the cover pages that I saved and just secured it with some fabric, and also just add a little bit of embellishment. Oh, and then I also just kind of splattered coffee to kind of give it an aged look. This is from one of the kits from Dusty Rose, and I think it's just so elegant. So I added that. You'll see pops of red throughout the journal in addition to the earth tones. And I'm going to go through the simple pages quickly. This turned out really cool. I was coffee dyeing a lot of her kits that had greens and blues, and I didn't realize that everything was just going to bleed together. And this I actually think turned out so pretty. So these leaves right here, I didn't stamp on. They were part of the digital, and I love the effect. So what I did do is then add some of my own stamping to it. And then this is from the kit as well. I didn't want to use too many butterflies because I didn't want this to be a butterfly book. I wanted it to be a different theme, so you're not going to see too many butterflies, surprisingly. This is from one of Cassie's kits, one of her like seaside kits. Oh, and then I beet dyed. Well, I put beets, I boiled some beets, and then also added turmeric and cinnamon. So that's kind of that yellow color. So I added some of those pages in here. And then some cards for her to write on. And then again, a religious postcard. some more fun things for her to use. And she did ask for celestial things in here, which I was already going to do anyway, so I thought that was cool that we were on the same page about that. So just an old postcard. And then some cool images from an art book where there was a celestial theme, like right here. You could see an angel figure. Oh, yeah, this is a pretty cool image right there. I thought she could just cut these up or glue them on, use them however she wants. Another really cool plate. So a little ruffle I made. This is also from France, as well as this card, and I think it's so pretty. I just tucked it inside, and there's that angel. Another Dust to Roses page that I did coffee dye, but it was already like this green color, so it kind of blended together. Another really cool plate. This is also from Dust to Roses, and I just added some cool, again, some religious postcards. This I just thought was so pretty because of the gold, the hints of blue, which you'll see throughout the book, as well as the jar. And then just some fun music paper, because my friend is a musician, so for some music paper for her to use as she would like. Oh, had some fun with gesso here and some stamping, and again, I love the texture. I thought she could use this to collage over or maybe even write on the gesso. That's always fun. And then another magazine page with an angelic theme. I did a fun like stamp right here. Oh, and I love this. This was also from an art book, and these women are holding jars, so I thought that was very fitting. Oh, and there's a lot of stuff in here. Here's just a little journaling card I made, and this reminds me so much of, in Harry Potter, the Quidditch game. What is it? I think it's called the Golden Finch. It reminds me so much of this. And again, a really cool art page that she could do whatever she wants with. There's just some pretty writing and images inside. This, I forget where I found it. I bought it on Instagram from a seller, and I bought 6 of these. One of them I actually have framed for myself, and I thought it was so pretty. Again, the pops of red, and there's no writing on the inside. It's so pretty. And then some of my favorite colored pages in the art book that I was using. So cool. And it's so Jessica. Oh, and then this one was my favorite. I had a hard time parting with it, but I think she'll really like it. So I definitely had to include that. Oh, and then here's another cool image on the other side. And then this fabric too is from a house of books. Okay, I'll stick those in later. Some more, just a little bit of embellishing here and there. This is also from Dust to Roses, and I added gesso all over it to kind of blend it in with the pages. Ooh, I love this jar right here with the angels coming out. Some more of that bead dyed paper. All right, let's go through this quickly. Some more Dust to Roses. I did some collaging here that she could collage over, or again, just use as inspiration. I know in my journals, I love it when the original artist will put, will collage some of their own stuff in here, and then other times might leave the pages blank. And it really does, I think, serve as inspiration for me when I craft, especially when I don't have a lot of time to craft and I might just embellish one page here and there. This is also from Dust to Roses. And again, there's this angel image right there. Here you'll see that I had to do some extra securing by gluing on some fabric pieces. And I think it just looks kind of cool, like adds to the rustic theme. And then there's some cool scrapbook papers for her to use. Some wallpaper. An image from the book. Oh, I love this yellow color right here. Another book plate. And then just a ruffle. I added this cute little charm. This is from blues. Oh gosh, I'm forgetting her name. But she makes really cool paints, and I thought these colors were so pretty together. And then I just use them as a tuck spot. Some French ephemera right there. I think it's French. Another Dust to Roses page. I did a little bit of stamping in white ink. I don't know if you could see that. Again, some Dust to Roses images. This is just some scrapbook paper that I then went and gessoed over. So you can see that I used some tape here to securely just bind. And right here as well. I love the ragged look though. I didn't add any tape right here. I thought it was cool that you can kind of see that the pages are being pulled apart right there. And then some vellum paper. Little accent scrapbook pieces of paper. Ooh, and then I really love the center page. I love how simple it is. It was one of the first pages in the actual book when I unbound it. And then of course I added some gesso, and I just love that aged yellow color. And then I wish you guys could feel the texture of the page. It's so, I don't know how to explain it. It's just really soft, nice to the touch. This is also from Dust to Roses, and then I just added a tiny bit of gold inking on the side. Oh, and then look at this. Again, that super rich brown color. And again, the texture is so cool. And then another cool page with some angel stuff on it on both sides. Here I did some of that coffee splattering. Another book plate. Ooh, this is a really cool image. I won't take it out, but just lots of angels all over the place, like angel warriors. And then in here, I put a bunch of cool little ephemera stickers and bits and pieces for her to use, along with some cool paper that I purchased on Etsy. There's gold splatters on there, and it just reminds me of the rest of the theme here. Another cool book plate. A Dust to Roses page. Oh, and again, I love the texture, especially with the gesso all over it. Did a tiny bit of stamping right here with gesso. Ooh, another angelic image from Dust to Roses. And then I did a tiny bit of gold stamping around it. Almost done. Added a sticker, and then the color was like it was too strong, if that makes sense. Like when I was turning the pages, my eyes were drawn here immediately, and I didn't like that. I didn't want that to be the focal point, so then I added some gesso and then some gold ink to kind of blend it with the rest of the page. Some more cool original images from the book. Oh, and then this was from the spine, and so I just saved it. I stuck it on here with some washi tape. Oh, this is one of my favorite images. I think it's from the French receipts from Dust to Roses. And then I just added a little bit of gesso, which again adds that really cool texture. So she could maybe glue some pictures of her jars on here, or maybe do some writing over here. I love it. One of my favorite pages for sure. And then I had a tiny bit more stamping right here with gesso. Cute little fabric piece right there. Ooh, and then I had fun embellishing this card. It's from a sticker book, like the antiquarian sticker book. I think a lot of you have heard of that or have that book. So I used one of these because, of course, there's a celestial theme here. With, what are these called? Some time stuff. Anyway, so I collaged a bunch of Dust to Roses pages, just from different collections. And then it's blank on the back for her to do some journaling. And then this is also from a religious book, like a really teeny tiny religious book. Some aged pages right there. Tuck it back in here. Okay, a couple more pages, you guys. Thank you for being patient. Oh, of course I had to gesso a tiny butterfly on here. Again, I made it very subtle because I didn't want the book to be centered around butterflies. Or on butterflies. A couple more pages, just blank pages for her to do some writing on. or maybe like experimenting with her paints, because she, like I said, she paints a lot, so I thought she could do paint testing on here. Like a cute little charm right there, and this little stamp I cut out from one of Dusty Rose's collections. This is also from Dusty Rose's, I think, the Botanist kit. These are olive trees, which Jessica, my friend, has a decorative olive tree in her house, and the olive tree is very symbolic in the Bible. And again, I mentioned that she's spiritual, and so I did want that, religious, spiritual theme throughout here as well, and celestial theme. And then here's the rest of that image with the women and their jars. I think it's so pretty. A postcard that I thought matched the color scheme well, and then another really cool art book page. Table of contents. We're almost there. The Holy Land, Judea. Definitely wanted to leave that in there again because of the biblical reference. Here I did do a lot more collaging than I did on the other pages, and I even added a little bit of pink because, again, I like this little cherub. It's so adorable. And I told Jessica, she can collage all over this. She doesn't have to save any of the original stuff. And I'm not going to feel bad. Again, kind of went a little overboard with collaging here and then stamping all over it. But I just love how rustic it looks. And then I added from the antiquarian book a little celestial sticker right there that I think the color goes really well with this right here. Ugh, again, I wish you guys could feel this. And that's pretty much it. This is the last of it. This is from the Antiquity kits. And then right here is a cool little, it's called Sacred Token, I almost wrote, to Jessica from Victoria, but then I decided she can save it and use it however she wants. This is a postcard. It looks like an original photo almost. And then one of my favorite images from the art book that I love. It's so cool looking. And I love that there's a peacock here because my friend Jessica, one of her first paintings ever for one of her art shows was of a peacock, and it was kind of like a self-portrait of herself. So I thought that was so cool, and I hope she notices that. And another cool image on the back. All right, and then you could see right here the open spine binding. And then I left the original sticker from the book here. And that's pretty much it, you guys. And then look at it, it's so thick and chunky. I'm gonna have to explain to her too that as she adds to it, it's gonna get chunkier and chunkier. And I know some people don't like the alligator mouth. It doesn't bug me, but I'm gonna show her how she can remove some pages if she needs to. And I just can't wait to see how she uses this. She's so creative and so inspiring to me and just to everyone around her. All right, thank you guys. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below and I'll be happy to answer them. Bye guys.